first thing that he released, and it's, you know, it's kind of like the ballad on the record. But you know, it has these beautiful changes to it.
Had to get the train from Potsdam and France. You never knew that I could do that, just walking the dead. Singing in the jungle.
So you know, that was one where David had come in and he had on his keyboard he had these chords, you know, and you know, David is an amazing writer and musician and artist, as we all know, but he's not a schooled guy. He just goes by his ear, and he doesn't even really like to call things like verse and chords, you know. He'll call it the middle bit or the other bit, you know, and he kind of messes with you a little bit like that, you know. And if I'm trying to like empty the band, some guys can read music, and like Mike Garson, the piano player, can read flight paper, you know. He just, you know, well, there's so many notes on the page it looks like flies, but you know what I mean. He can read anything upside down. I got him once to play 2 different songs with 2 different hands just to see if he could do it, and who else could do it? Sounds horrible. And then you have a guy like Earl Slick, who, you know, I give him a chart, you know. Give Earl the chart, and he'd look at me and he'd do that, you know, and be like, okay, I get it. I mean, in good fun, you know. So I figured, okay, let's get together with Earl the day before and go over the chords, you know, like guitar players do. You sit down with the guitar and I'm going to play this, and you're going to play, you know, you want to play this or whatever. And he's great, you know, he's kind of old school. But anyway, we were doing these demos, and David had these beautiful chords, and I wanted to, I really want to kind of honor this progression, because it's unusual, and it's, so what I did really was I just kind of like transcribed it on the guitar, and I took his notes and that he was playing on the keyboard, and wrote them down, and then figured it out on the guitar. I have a little chart here I'm going to try and find. So, and the song was called 067 because that's what his little digital recorder called it. So we called it 067 for a while, you know. You know, when the single came out, I was like, what is this song? You know, and I went back down to the charts and I realized that we called it 067 for all that time. Because he would have just had a la 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 kind of melody. But, you know, it's got this nice, so what I figured out, it's got this F major 7. Right, and then we have a D minor over G, which is, that's what I say, these are unusual chords. I mean, it's a D minor over G. I'm sure you could call it other things. You could call it maybe a G7 with a 9. But in my mind, it kind of felt more D minor. And then he has this kind of like, it's a D flat with an E flat in bass. this thing where he had an F chord over a C. Everything's over a C pedal here. Yeah, G over the C and a B flat over the C. To C7. So it's kind of beautiful, and it really kind of when you pull it out, like I just wrote down, I could say play the first chord and I'd write down the notes, and then play the next chord and write down the notes. And then when I had them down, I was like, okay, let me find it on the guitar. I used, a little bit of shimmer on the sound. I have something programmed in here. It's, it's got a little tremolo and a little bit of a pitch shifting thing. Just kind of helps move it around a bit, So, and then the outro of the song is this very simple chord progression. Chord progression. That's D minor, C over E, and then a C major. So I looked up for a second. I thought it'd be nice to have this kind of, it's kind of an ascending thing for him in what he was singing. So just like a simple line maybe that could kind of weave and then start to kind of grow towards the end. So is what I like to do now is write out the sections, and then this is a simple form, so there's some little notes and repeat signs put in there, but often I guess it's kind of a more American way of doing it, if you'll see maybe some other charts where you don't need to write out everything. You just write it out once, and then if the section repeats, you just have to put the letter A, and then you've got to play the letter A, and if you need to reference the chords, you look at the original A. But so you're not your page is not so full of things that you can't see through it. So it's kind of clear, and using these letters then for the different sections, it also points. If you're playing with a bunch of people, and you can say, well, can we run the B section? Everybody's like, the what? But it's the B section because it has a big letter B. You know, anyway, that's just, you know,